Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, then turn that notification button on right now.
When you become a pro wrestler, you also sign up for the downsides and pitfalls that come with it. While people dream about becoming superstars and global icons, you also need to be ready to put your body through unimaginable pain, and to constantly be on the road, often traveling at moment's notice. Pro wrestling isn't all glitz and glamour. The athletes train their bodies for years before taking up the rigors of WWE's schedule. Even then, the superstars understand that injuries are a part and parcel of the wrestling business. Even if you're extremely careful in the ring, there is always a chance of you getting seriously hurt. In 2017 and the beginning of 2018, multiple stars suffered the same fate and have been sidelined. In this video, we take a look at WWE stars that are currently injured and their potential return date to in-ring competition. Alicia Fox has been with the company for ages. While the Foxy star hasn't had much to do over the past years, 2017 was especially good to her, with her captaining the Raw women's team at Survivor Series. Alicia was scheduled to compete in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, but unfortunately got injured on the day of the event. While she was understandably heartbroken, the injury also came about at the worst possible time. With Fox penciled in to compete in the Mixed Match Challenge, it was reported that Alicia suffered a broken tailbone during the pre-rehearsals, and it was announced that she would be out of action for at least a few months. Considering a broken tailbone takes anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks to heal, one can realistically expect to see Alicia back in the WWE ring by May. Much has been said about RTruth's time in WWE, from reinventing himself during his heel run to entertaining the audience with his Little Jimmy gimmick.
Really? 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 Riley! Riley? Randy! Randy? Riley! Randy! Riley! Randy! Riley! Randy! Riley! Randy! Jimmy! 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 Jimmy!
And finally being relegated to the lower mid-card feuds, RTruth has endured a difficult time with the company. However, Truth has given his best no matter how little screen time he got until last year. Truth hasn't been seen on WWE TV since October, and in December, the WWE Superstar took to Twitter to update the fans about his injury, and the fact that he had underwent shoulder surgery. It usually takes around 4 to 6 months for someone to heal from a shoulder surgery, and taking that period into consideration, RTruth should be back in action after Backlash in May. We haven't seen the conclusion of the feud between Goldust and RTruth, and both the superstars can resume their rivalry once Truth is cleared to compete by the WWE doctors. Is this a rivalry you even want to see finished? Let me know in the comments. The current Cruiserweight division has just over a dozen superstars, with the departures of Enzo Amore and Austin Aries further trimming the division. Dhar has been with WWE since the Cruiserweight Classic, and while the Israeli-born superstar hasn't made much of an impact in the company, he has certainly been a utility figure that WWE could turn to. Dhar suffered a knee injury in December last year and underwent surgery to repair a torn meniscus. Noam was expected to be on the sidelines for 5 months, which can indicate that the Cruiserweight will be cleared to compete by May or June this year. Dhar is certainly an underrated talent, and with Enzo no longer being with the promotion, we can see Noam stepping up in 2018 and possibly even winning the Cruiserweight title. The Singh Brothers have played a pivotal role in pushing Jinder Mahal to the top of the food chain in 2017. Jinder won the WWE title before dropping it to AJ Styles. However, the Singh Brothers have been a constant presence through his reign, often interfering in his matches and ensuring that he won by hook or by crook. However, in January, Samir Singh suffered a torn ACL during a scuffle with Bobby Roode. Samir and Sunil competed in the Cruiserweight Classic tournament and were on NXT and 205 Live for a brief period, before being paired with Jinder. As ACL tears go, Samir is expected to be out of action for at least 6 to 9 months, and is expected to make his return in the final months of 2018. As far as untimely injuries are concerned, Big Cass's luck definitely ran out last year. Cass was rumored to be in line for a major push post SummerSlam when he was feuding with his former tag team partner Enzo Amore. However, Cass tore his ACL during a match on Raw, and couldn't hide his frustration on live TV. Cass was given 6 to 9 months to recover from the surgery to repair his ACL, and is currently rehabbing his injury at the WWE Performance Center. He also recently mentioned that he hopes to return before Mania 34, and could make a surprise return during the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Taking into consideration the fact that Enzo Amore benefited from Cass's injury, winning the Cruiserweight title before eventually getting canned, Cass would hope to make amends for the months of inactivity this year. When the creative team came up with the idea of pairing Jason Jordan with Kurt Angle, the WWE fans believed that the team was looking at a bigger picture. A decade ago, Vince McMahon was involved in a similar angle, with Mr. Kennedy rumored to be named Vince's son and receive a big push. As it turned out, both the angles proved to be detrimental to the stars' careers, although Jason's case was different from Kennedy's. Mr. Kennedy was suspended for being named as one of 11 superstars who were implicated in the 2007 steroid scandal, forcing WWE to change plans and go with Hornswoggle as McMahon's illegitimate son. Jordan, however, has been built slowly, with the creative team planning a WrestleMania bout between Rollins and Jordan. Unfortunately for Jason, he got injured at the worst possible moment. Jason has been dealing with neck injuries, and his situation is being compared to that of Steve Austin and Edge, which doesn't bode well for superstars. Jordan is expected to undergo surgery, which will relegate him to the sidelines for at least a year. Drew McIntyre's WWE return saw him win the NXT title, and the superstar that was once christened the Chosen One by Vince McMahon himself and well and truly on his way to redeeming himself in the company, McIntyre proved his worth on the independents and impressed the WWE officials enough to earn a second chance. However, the Scottish superstar suffered an unfortunate injury during the NXT TakeOver War Games pay-per-view during his match with Andrade Cien Almas. He dropped the title to Almas but suffered a torn bicep during the bout, putting him on the sidelines for a few months. McIntyre recently gave an interview where he said that he was targeting the WrestleMania weekend to make his return. This could see McIntyre playing a role at the NXT TakeOver event during the Mania weekend, or to possibly even make his main roster debut at WrestleMania for something like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The charismatic Enigma returned to WWE last year along with his brother, and while the Hardy Boys won the Raw Tag Team titles, their return hasn't been as impactful, pardon the pun, as one would have expected. Jeff had the chance to win the IC title, and just when it looked like Jeff's singles career would once again take off in the company, he suffered a shoulder injury in September. Jeff underwent a surgery in October to repair his torn rotator cuff, and was expected to sit on the sidelines for about 4 to 6 months. Considering the fact that it has already been 4 months since the surgery, the former WWE champion is expected to return to in-ring competition before Mania 34. WWE reportedly has plans to reunite Jeff and Matt upon his return, and it is being speculated that Jeff could undergo a character change similar to Matt, thus resurrecting his brother Nero persona in WWE. The Lunatic Fringe was expected to team up with Seth Rollins and win the Raw Tag Team titles last year. Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns reformed the Shield in the second half of 2017, and while it was one of the most highly anticipated reunions in recent memory, it didn't quite materialize as WWE would have hoped. Instead, Ambrose suffered a tricep injury and was forced to visit the operating room. While Jason Jordan stepped up and took his place, Jordan and Rollins won the Raw Tag Team titles before dropping the titles to the Bar. It was also rumored that Ambrose would turn on Rollins and Reigns on the road to WrestleMania 34, thus setting up a showdown with Rollins had he of course not suffered his injury. It was then announced that Ambrose would miss in-ring action for 9 months, pushing his return date to August around SummerSlam season. WWE could always go back to their original plan, having Ambrose ambush Rollins, setting up a rivalry between the two going into Survivor Series. Just when it looked like WWE was finally about to pull the trigger with Samoa Joe, he suffered a minor injury, throwing all of WWE's plans out the window. In January, Samoa Joe cut a promo on Raw about dealing with John Cena at the Royal Rumble. Oddly enough, he suffered an injury on the same night. Joe was then pulled from the Mixed Match Challenge, and while his injury isn't deemed serious, he is expected to be out of action until mid-March. It was originally feared that Joe would miss WrestleMania 34, but the latest word making rounds is that Joe will be back in action a couple of weeks before Mania. Joe even appeared on Booker T's podcast last month, and said that it was a week-to-week thing, which was enough to alleviate the fears of Joe missing Mania. While WWE is reportedly working on a match between The Undertaker and John Cena for WrestleMania, a showdown between Cena and Joe could be very intriguing and could even be a good backup match in case the rumored match between Undertaker and Cena doesn't materialize. And these are 10 WWE superstars injured with their potential return dates. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and I'll see you later with more wrestling videos.